What's up, guys, and welcome back to another test prep video from Scalar Learning, but this one is a special collaboration with RV Business, Ritesh, who is an amazing test taker and test prep educator. And we decided to join forces and both split practice test 9 no calculator section for the math. So we can do a little bit of commentary, and I'm going to watch him solve 10 problems, and then later he's going to watch me solve 10 problems, and we're going to give commentary on the approaches, the strategies, etc., to help you guys get the maximum out of your test prep process and see two people who may have some slight different approaches, but at the same time, we're going for the same goals: accuracy, efficiency, and at the end of the day, a great score. So here we go. We're going to watch Ritesh knock down questions 11 through 20 of practice test 9 from the College Board. Let's do it. So what he's doing right now is he's testing 0. Okay, so they're saying, hey, which of the following represent things that would satisfy this equation? Like, my first instinct would be to cross multiply, but this is a really smart approach. So he's immediately saying, hey, I see 0 in 2 of these solutions. If it doesn't work, then it's going to knock out A and B. But if it does work, then I know it's down to A and B. And then now what he's doing, now he's just testing the 2, right? So he knows it's either 2 or 4. If 2 is right, it's A. If 2 is wrong, it's B. All right, you see that? So the 2 didn't work, so he knows it's got to be B, and he's moving on. Very efficient, nice work of plugging in the numbers. So he's not giving much importance to the fact that x has to be greater than 0, and that's usually what you should do. It's going to be a limiting factor, but it's not anything substantial that's going to redirect the outcome of the problem. Okay, so what he's doing here is he's choosing a value for x again. So he seems like a big fan of plugging in. He's choosing 1 and he's finding a value. So if he gets 1, it's 1/3 plus 5, which is like what is that? Then 5 is 15/3, and he's adding the 2 together, and he's getting 16/3. And then he's plugging in 1 for all of these. Yeah, and he's going to see which one gives him 16/3. Okay, so he plugs in 1 there. He gets 8/3. That's out. So he's plugging in 1 there, and that gives him the 16/3. Great strategy. Good plugging in. Okay. So he's crossing off the +3s because this is one of the things you got to know is vertex form. So he's again looking at that vertex. Now look, the vertex is that base point of 3, 1. So if it's a +3, it's got to be x minus 3. The x is always flipped. The value of the x is flipped. So it's -3, not +3. So those are immediately out, and that's great. Now it looks like I bet he's going to plug in 2, 5 to either of the equations, and that's the other thing. You got to use one of those other. He could use 4 or 5 as well. It doesn't matter. But he's chosen arbitrarily 2, 5. That's great. And now he's going to plug them in, I assume, to A. Let's see. He's plugged it into he's plugged in C. Actually, that's less work, so that makes more sense. That's it. So he plugged it into C, and what he was shooting for, right? If you have the 2 value and the 5 as a coordinate, if you plug 2 in, you should get 5. He's not getting 5 for C, therefore it's got to be A. He's not even testing A. He's just moving forward. And now look, if you got time to spare, I would test A. That's my personal preference, but he's showing you how to do it in the fastest, most efficient manner possible, and it's right on. Okay, so he's putting it into slope-intercept form. Excellent. You got to do that, especially when you're graphing. It's so much easier. So he's saying... Okay, so that looks like it looks like a -1/3. I think he meant -2/3, but it doesn't matter. He got the fact that the slope is negative, okay? And also that it's a little hard to see, but that it's shaded below. So B looks like the only one where the negative slope we're shading below, the positive slope we're shading above. And it really doesn't matter because all the lines are the same, right? It's just where's the shading. So he's recognizing very quickly that for the top one, we're shading above. For the bottom one, for the one with the positive slope, we're shading above. For the one with the negative slope, we're shading below. And B is the only one that fits that. Okay, let me see if I can move it forward. So the first thing he's doing is he's looking at the solutions. He's like, oh, two of them say -1 is a possibility. So he immediately just plugged in -1 instead of solving it the algebraic way. He's just saying, I'm gonna plug in -1, boom, boom. I get +1 equals +1, and that's it. And remember, we only take the positive root. We're not taking that negative root. Yes, I know the square root of 1 is also -1, but we're only extracting the positive roots on these types of questions. So now he's confirmed that -1 is a solution. Now he's going to look to see if +2 is a solution. So right here, right, he just verified when he plugged in 2 that when he plugged in 2, it's square root of 4 equals -2. Square root of 4 is 2, and 2 does not equal -2. So A is out, B is the one, that's it. So he is saying if a right rectangular prism is a length of 4 centimeters okay, so he's immediately calculating the volume because, oh, that's it. Yeah, so length of a rectangular prism, he wasted no time. It's length times width times height. Boom. Did it mentally. 9 times 4 is 36 times 10, 360. Done. Okay, he's just going straight into solve, right? He is subtract. Wait, and did he just get the answer? Very good. He did not actually. He took the fastest route possible, and this is a really important thing. If you spot this, he didn't solve for x. Instead, he recognized, hey, 4x plus 2 is the same as 2x plus 1, right? I mean, it's just the same, but you have to divide by 2. If he divides both sides by 2, you get 2x plus 1 equals 2. He doesn't have to solve for x. Who cares that x equals, what does it equal? It equals 1/2, right? Who cares that x equals 1/2? He goes straight to the source, 2x plus 1 equals 2, and he's done. So he is choosing that point of 0, 2. So all he's doing is he's saying so he's recognizing, hey, there's the maximum value. The maximum value is also occurring it's at 2. It's also occurring at -4 and +4. It doesn't matter. He's just choosing that when he's saying, yo, the maximum value is 2, and that is a vertical shift up, right? F of x plus 6. So boom, if that goes up, he's just saying the 2 now becomes an 8. 6 up, done. Excellent. Always draw a triangle with these trig problems. Perfect. So he's just putting in the right angle Q, getting everything sorted as the question describes it. Okay. Now what he did right there is all they give you is that sine of r is 4/5. Now remember, sine is opposite over hypotenuse. He didn't put this down yet. He might not actually, because you don't need the hypotenuse, but the hypotenuse is 5. The way that he got that smaller side without doing Pythagorean's theorem is he recognized that this is a 3, 4, 5 right triangle. So he knows that if that hypotenuse is 5, that other leg is 4, the smallest leg is 3. Now he's going to find tangent of P. Oh, there we go. Okay, yeah. So what he said, tangent is SOHCAHTOA. Tangent is opposite over adjacent. And now we're coming from P, so what's opposite P? He's going to show us now. It's at 3/4. Boom, done. Excellent. Okay, so first things first, he's calculating the slope. Why? Because they're saying it's perpendicular, right? So perpendicular, always that slope is a negative reciprocal. So he first got to know the slope of the original line. So -2, excellent. So he's saying that, so now he's doing point slope, okay? So he's saying point slope, and you see that 1/2 value, that's the slope of this perpendicular line. And what are the coordinates that he's using? He's using 1, 3. See how it says it goes through 1, 3? Boom, done. He's got the equation. Now all he needs to do is find g of 0, so aka what does y equal when x equals 0? Okay, so he distributed the 1/2. So he's actually distributing before plugging in 0. Now he's plugging in 0, crossing that off. Okay, so what he got there is, hold on a second. That should be a 5/2. Wait, that's a 5, right? Yeah. So that's it, right? So he's doing -1/2 plus 3, which is 2.5, or 5/2, and that's it. Much respect to Ritesh for doing this collaboration. I think it's very important that all you guys out there who are prepping for the SAT to look at different styles and different approaches, because that will just give you more options, more creativity when you are tackling this test. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a like. And if you want to see more from the Scalar Learning channel for all your test prep needs, make sure to click that subscribe button. Thank you so much for joining, and I'll see you in the next video. Take it easy.